como diria o meu padrinho, e agradecer à Zeida Abirached, não é? Eu não consigo. Peço desculpa. Mandar rápido, é ter por estar aqui também na livraria. E para nós é um prazer muito grande, não só porque as edições da Lenoir são realmente muito boas. E agora, quando vão buscar estes livros, que não são das geografias mais óbvias, e a Zeida tem, além deste do Profeta, tem a Ovelha, que é um livro lindíssimo, e tem a Dança das Andorinhas, que se passa no Líbano, e que depois, se quiserem, poderão ver. Bom, no final haverá autógrafos, em princípio, para quem se portar bem. E para quem se portar mal, temos um bocadinho de vinho
e das montanhas do Líbano.
Vinho das montanhas do Líbano e gludices também do Líbano.
Do Líbano e umas tâmaras medjool da Palestina.
Ok. Merci, Zeida.
Obrigada.
Mais uma vez, obrigada.
Obrigada. Boa tarde. Começo em português, mas acho que podíamos seguir em francês ou em inglês, mas há pelo menos uma pessoa que não domina o francês. O resto domina o inglês? Sim? Se houver alguém que não, sim, tudo bem? Ok. Muito boa tarde por vir neste dia chuvoso. É um grande prazer lançar hoje O Profeta, porque não foi fácil conseguir os direitos, porque as edições Seguer, que foi com quem a Zeida editou este livro, não é uma editora típica de banda desenhada.
Pas du tout.
Não, pas du tout. Sim, não.
Ils ont une ou deux.
Não, c'est pas Casterman. E então não havia maneira de chegar a eles, não havia maneira de chegar. E eu, como é que eu lanço este livro? Porque nós tínhamos lançado A Dança das Andorinhas e A Ovelha. E era Angoulême, eu estava em Paris, e a Zeida estava a lançar O Profeta no Instituto do Monde Arabe. E eu fui lá e pronto, e disse, Zeida, não consigo comprar os direitos. E foi assim que nós conseguimos lançar, por isso é um grande prazer. Now I'm going to switch to English. Okay? Zeida, how this idea to make a new prophet in illustration appear?
It's not my idea.
Okay.
It's the idea of Edition Seguer in France. Their idea was to do something with the text that was. They wanted to release the book in 2023 because of the
century, the anniversary.
Centenaire, the
100 years.
Exactly. But they didn't know what to do about it. So when they asked me if I was interested, it was a bit difficult to answer. Because of course, as a Lebanese, I was born in Beirut and raised in Beirut. Well, I knew Kahlil Gibran, but I never read The Prophet from the whole book. I could recognize some parts. Sometimes at weddings, for example, they read the part about love or about marriage. This I knew. The part about the children also. So I could recognize some of the parts of the book, but I didn't know the book, the full book. It was difficult to answer also because, Kahlil Gibran is not an anonymous author, and it's a big responsibility to do something with this text. And he died. So I knew that if I wanted to work on this text, I could not just take my phone and ask him, like, page 32, what did you mean? Because I don't understand. So I knew that it was, if I would say yes, it would be an experience, like something very different from what I already experienced as someone who writes and draws. But I said yes because I read it and I was totally embarked, you say in English. I was very enthusiastic about the introduction of the prophet, which I totally forgot that existed. And the book, for those who haven't read it, the book starts exactly at the moment where the prophet and Mustafa is leaving the city where he is. And the book says at the very beginning that every day he used to look at the sea, waiting for the ship that was meant to take him back to his country, waiting for this ship to appear on the horizon. And we open the book exactly at the moment where the ship finally arrives. So we are at a turning point. It starts like this, by someone leaving a country. And that what touched me a lot is that he was waiting for 10 years for his ship to come back. And then the day where he finally sees the ship, he doesn't run to the ship and to the port. And he's not like, he's slow. And he's thinking, and as if he realized that you cannot leave a place just like this. And he has a very beautiful, there are a couple of sentences where he thinks about how shall I leave this place and what would remain of me in this place and what will I take with me? All the questions we ask ourselves when we have to travel or to leave a country. And it touched me a lot because in a way it was a text that was talking about exile without telling this word, without saying this word.
That is not a very nice word.
It's a heavy word.
It's a heavy word.
And maybe that if he had written it, it would have changed the perspective because we, as a reader, would have put a lot of maybe emotions or
political also. Political a bit, maybe.
Probably.
Also.
So it was interesting to just he suggested this. I don't know, this is the way I received it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not that, but it's the way I received it. And I found it very interesting, like to be at the turning point of this character. And I realized, this is also my interpretation, that he was not a prophet before this moment, because he is leaving and the people go with him to the port and to the boat. And the people ask him, please, before you go, tell us your wisdom and share with us your wisdom. It's as if he became a prophet at the moment where he was living. I liked it. It sounded like something I never thought about this prophet. And I always imagined him like someone very old and of course with a lot of wisdom, but like an old man. And Gibran has it's in a very short sentence. He says in French, and Mustafa, j'ai vu le bienheureux, le bien-aimé, aurore de sa propre vie, like the morning of his life. So probably he was a young man. And I liked it. I liked him. So that's why I said yes for this project. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. How long did it take after you said, okay, I'm on board?
Well, it took almost 2 years, but not too 2 years like working every day. The beginning it was a bit, I took my time because first of all we had to pick a translation.
Yeah.
Because the original text is in English. And it was translated to many languages and many times. So a lot of different translations. And with my publisher, we were looking for a version, for a translation that could be, how do you say that? That could welcome the drawing, the images. That maybe a translation that is that contains less images and that is a bit not simple, but help me with this word.
Yeah, that's more literal or
No.
no?
Funny, simple, between funny and simple.
But in a good way.
Yes.
Minimalist.
Voilà, merci beaucoup. Minimalist. It's the same word in French. Something, yeah, minimalist that could welcome the drawing and dance with it. So it took time. And then I started to draw the introduction, and it took a lot of time. I don't know if you remember the structure of the book. There's an introduction and then 28?
26.
Thank you. I felt that like it was 26 parts with exactly the same introduction, and then the conclusion, which is also beautiful. So the introduction it's the moment where all the grammar of the drawing, all the vocabulary of the drawing must be invented. For example, the trees, the mountains, is it a Mediterranean shore or is it something more exotic? How does he look like? And the people around him, what does he wear? So all the decisions must be taken at that moment, at the beginning. So it took a lot of time. And then each of the 26 parts it depends. Some parts are lyrical and maybe easier to apprehend and to translate into drawing, and some are more abstract, like the part about liberty, for example. I used to feel like I was a detective looking for a clue. Like, okay, I found the key and then I cracked it, and okay. It was very interesting. So yeah, it took 2 years in...
One question that, in your imagination, it was more Mediterranean or more mountain? What was your choice on the nature around for the drawings? What was your idea if you materialize in some part of the Mediterranean or something like that?
It's a good question, because I know where Kahlil Gibran was born. Everyone knows it's in Chile, in the north of Lebanon, in the mountains. Yeah, it's the mountains. And very special mountains, because there is something very spiritual there. Still today, there are some eremites, you say in English.
Well, I don't know, but in Portuguese it is eremita.
That live there. So there is this atmosphere, very spiritual atmosphere in the landscape. And what is very beautiful is from the top of the mountain you see the Mediterranean Sea. So you have the impression of being in the middle of something very strong in the landscape, where you feel tiny, and also you feel like you can englobe everything. It's very strangely interesting experience. So of course the idea was, does the prophet looks at that kind of landscape or no? I decided to, because it's the book is, how do you say, it can belong to anyone. anyone
Yes.
can read it and feel as if he's talking to him. So I started by something Mediterranean, and then I tried to brouiller les pistes. How do you say
To make not so distinct. To make not so distinct.
A bit. So you have some architecture from Yemen, for example. You have the palm trees of the Gulf area. You have the pine trees of Mediterranean countries. And then you have the mountains, but we are not sure if it's real mountains or rocks or. So it's a bit of a mix. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was the idea.
Open to a certain universality of the nature.
That's
Yes.
the word I was looking for. Universality. To keep this this universality that the text already has in it very strongly. And the black and white serves that too, because an image in black and white, it's without gray. I mean, it's something very direct. Sometimes you can have minimalism in the black and white, and sometimes exactly the contrary. I can play with the patterns, and so there is something in black and white that is a bit like a spiritual exercise, where you have to find equilibrium, the harmony between the shapes and the black and the white, because it's like it's like a construction game when you work in black and white. Sometimes if you put like something black at the right side of the page, you can feel if you don't have it's not well balanced like the book is. So I found it interesting that the spiritual path was also in parallel matched. Thank you. With the graphic research also in black and white.
And there are some readers that, after launching the book in France, sent some questions or were surprised, or what were the reactions of the readers?
Fortunately, the reaction I had were positive, because it's the whole text. I didn't change anything. We didn't remove anything. It's the whole text of Gibran. But it was the first time that it was transformed into a graphic novel from A to Z. There are some editions when you have a couple of drawings. Gibran himself drew some drawings from some parts of the book, but it was the first time that it was totally transformed into a graphic novel. But fortunately, I think people liked it. They were not shocked.
Or surprised, or sometimes.
But what I realized is that a lot of the young generation knew Gibran, and usually it was someone from the family or a teacher that passed the. It's really a book that is a transmission from one generation to another, and in a way, I think that the idea of Segers was to make the readers read this text in a different way, like to present another possibility for this text. I said it in a very modest way, but because it's my way to do it. But probably it could interest
different people
that didn't read it yet,
or maybe people that were not willing to read the Prophet. Now they say, let's give a try, because we are in Amadora, in the festival of comics here. and many people arrive and say, we didn't know Zeida or the Prophet, but after we loved, no, but it's okay, it's fine.
That's true.
But we loved the exhibition, and now we want to buy the book. So maybe it will be very difficult for this person to read the Prophet as a book, because they don't. What is the Liban? You know. So I think Editions Seguer did a very good thing to. It's not democratized, but it's, as you said, is to read the same work in another way. And this is always very very interesting for readers. And I think to maintain a work that is philosophy, poetry, etc., still alive. So I'm very fond of this. We do that with Fernando Pessoa in the classics, for example, or Luis de Camões, etc. So I think this. And I'm very curious, how is the difference in your work? Because with with A Dança das Andorinhas or Ovelha, the book is your idea. You are the and here is different because you are interpreting a work already done. What's the difference? How do you feel? It's easier? Is not? You think you are to people?